Have you found it necessary, or have you had to tighten your belt as you supersize and grow your business? Have you had to cut back on expenses, spend less in certain areas, let people go, lay people off ever as you've been growing and building and supersizing your business? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Our idiom today is tighten your belt. This is actually one of my favorite belts. I'm not actually sure that would fit around me anymore. Oh yeah, barely. It used to be too big and I had to tighten it, but now it's about the right size. So where does this idiom come from? What does it mean? And how can we use it to grow and build and supersize our business? It, of course, means to save or to cut back or to not spend as much on something because you don't normally have it to spend. This actually comes from the Great Depression, the 1920s in America, when the stock market crashed, October 24th of 1929. But the events leading up to that, where people were losing their jobs, out of work, couldn't find work no matter what, and that meant they had no income, so they had nothing to use to buy food for themselves and their families. And it was a very, very terrible time in America and through other places throughout the world because of the financial markets and financial situations and businesses having to pull back and let people go. And there just wasn't enough money and work to go around. Now, of course, there's always been a ton of money, but there wasn't enough for the people that needed it in order for them to eat and in some cases even survive. So as we're growing and building and supersizing our businesses, sometimes cash or other resources become unavailable. Think of the COVID pandemic. I can think of literally millions of businesses that had to tighten their belt, change what they were doing, and really rethink everything as they had to let their people go because they had no way to pay them because their businesses were shut down during the COVID pandemic. And that has caused all of us to rethink, what do we need to do in order to continue and thrive and grow and build and supersize our business, no matter what's going on in the world around us? And there's some things that we can do. One of the things that a lot of people did during the COVID pandemic and even before was turn to technology to boost efficiency, to find ways to continue to serve people, even though they couldn't do them the ways that they were used to doing them. So we can turn to technology. We can go online. We can use the internet. Thankfully, we had the internet during the COVID pandemic because it literally saved me and billions of other people a lot more uncomfortable situation, stress and strife. And I think that it's going to be decades moving forward that we actually see the impact that COVID-19 has had on businesses, on individuals, on people, on children for sure. Oh my gosh. I mean, as adults, we're more able to cope with the changes and the challenges that happened due to the COVID pandemic, the close quarters, the what's it called, in place, staying in your homes, etc. But for kids, it's going to be interesting to see the impact that has had on them. I know, for example, my nephew's college experience was terrible because their college was shut down and they had to do online school. Well, heck, you might as well have selected to do online school during the pandemic versus being forced to do it. So look toward technology to boost efficiency and to make things easier and to make things even possible that might not otherwise be possible. We can go ahead and scrutinize and look at all of our operating procedures and our services and things that we're hiring out and having done for us. Maybe some of them can be brought in-house to be more efficient and to keep people working instead of having to let them go in downturn or changes and fluctuations in our business. We can one of the things I've learned in business is once we hire people and once I have staff and people helping, I do everything in my power. I never, and a lot of businesses probably can't say this, but I've never had to let people go or lay people off. I happened to be working from home when COVID hit, so it had very little impact on me personally, but the people that it did, we want to hang on to our key staff and key members of our team as long as humanly possible. We want to keep our team together and only make staffing cuts when we have no other alternative, no other choice. That's been my experience anyway. We want to maintain our marketing. And this is one of the hardest things for people to understand. We have to continue to be visible, get attention, have our brand, our face, our products and services out there, no matter what's going on with our physical business. We want to continue our marketing, not cut back on that. I would say of all the mistakes people made during the pandemic, that is probably one of them. Now, it was a huge advantage for the people that did not cut back on their marketing, because now there were all kinds of people captive and seeing their marketing. And so those businesses really skyrocketed, Supersize, and grew during the pandemic, versus the ones that said, okay, I can't afford to market, I have to shut that off. Now, if you shut your marketing off because you wanted to keep your people, did you take those people and those resources and put them in marketing activities? For example, cold calling, or calling current or past customers to see if you could still serve them and help them during this difficult time. And what did they need now versus what they normally needed from you before the pandemic? There's ways to focus on getting more business from your existing or past customers, right? Again, an example of that during the pandemic was take your wait staff that's no longer waiting on customers that are coming into the business and put them on the phones, calling your customer list and seeing if you could deliver meals to them, for example, or if they wanted to order online, order over the phone, and then come in and pick up their meal, or drive by and pick up their meal, etc. Ideal, obviously, with a lot of restaurant industry people and service industries. We could sell something as soon and as often as possible. We could find creative ways to sell different things, right? We can add things to our product mix in different price points to appeal to different people in our target audience. We can remember to pay attention to our bookkeeping and our accounting. Again, that's another thing. Oh, I can't afford my CPA. I'm going to let my CPA go on hiatus while we're struggling, and then figure it out and do it myself. Now, if you have some talent and skills in that area, okay, but the point is we need to continue to pay attention to the money flow and the cash flow, especially when times are tight, or when we're experiencing a downturn in our business, right? And all of our businesses, I don't care what industry or business you're in, we get fluctuations, some seasonal, some predictable, some not. So we want to make sure we have things in our toolbox that we can use in case we need to tighten our belt. And as we tighten our belt, or as we look at things and become more resourceful. I say become more resourceful. Don't necessarily have to cut back and cut out and let people go. Do what works for you. Do what's right for your business. So I'm curious, have you had to tighten your belt as you've been growing and building and supersizing your business? And if so, what was your favorite way or favorite strategy, or what proved to be the best strategy for you to tighten your belt? I would imagine during COVID-19, we all have had to do some things and make changes. So share those in the comments below. Any questions about this idiom, hit me up. We're doing financial idioms for the month of May. If you've got a financial idiom that you absolutely are dying to know the origin of, and how in the heck we could tie it to our business and growing our business in particular, ask me that as well. Let me know in the comments below. All right, have a great day, and I will be with you tomorrow.